All right, welcome to the Real Somm. This is Peter. You can reach me at peter@canawineco.com or info@therealsomm.com. I have found out there's another Real Somm. I have no idea why she named herself the Real Somm. It's like somebody in Asia, I think maybe, and she's like 14 years old. So that Real Somm, the Real Somm, like three different words, not one whole big thing. Here's the deal. This list, I never get divulged where the list is. I don't know. This is just somebody, I do know where this one is, but this is, I do a lot of consulting. If you know who I consult with, and you can probably guess kind of where this list is. It's Jacksonville, actually. Here's the thing. Somebody controls the printing on this list because the restaurant does not. And something happened where I didn't get that information because we're going to print it anyway ourselves. But most of the time when Southern Wine and Spirits controls a list, it's got to be 80% Southern Wine and Spirits, and you have to have a really good excuse not to have all Southern Wine and Spirits shit. Like, oh, we need Silver Oak, oh, we need Cake Bread, that's from RNDC, and they go, okay. And Breakthrough, which is the old Premier, there you want 70% of a list. So I maybe think RNDC, Republic National here in Florida, is the most amiable of the big three. And there's actually kind of a big four now because very quietly this cute little Stakel has come into this gigantic company called Winebow. You know Winebow from New York, New Jersey actually. They're just right up, just before you get on the Tappan Zee Bridge, they're off there. And they bought this big huge company in Virginia, and then they bought three companies here and combined them all, and now that's a big huge place, man. Now the kind of 4 and 5 guys are O-Pee-Chee and Terroir. If you're in Florida, I highly recommend doing business with Terroir. That is a solid company, man. Shout out to Kyle Green and my rep, Robert. We call him Bob or Robert, doesn't matter. Okay, you're on to the rant. Okay, here's the thing. Just very quickly. I'm trying to do this in like 8 minutes because somebody said, hey man, keep these to 8 minutes because I do it while I'm sort of shaving and getting dressed. Okay, so here, well, let's just go start real quick. And this isn't going to be, you know me, I don't edit crap. See the white wine Chardonnay. He's got Hesselec by the bottle, Sonoma-Cutrer. I'm sorry about this wiggling, man. Sonoma, you have a French Chardonnay and an American Chardonnay, both by the glass. Good start, except that your Chardonnay by the glass is Sonoma-Cutrer, so you will never sell anything else, ever. You will not sell Stag's Leap or Groth or Cake Bread. By the way, I don't know which Stag's Leap. See how this is listed? No vintages, nothing. There's room for vintage there, dude. There's room for Maison Latour, Burgundy, France, 2016. There's room. I'm cutting this by about 5 selections anyway because the people, and let me tell you about this restaurant. This restaurant has, those are my notes for you guys. This restaurant has amazing French trained chefs, a beautiful menu, tremendous service. And look at the prices on here. Those prices do not reflect the quality of the food. The food is a much higher quality than the wines. All right? So, and the other thing about By the Glass, there's a couple of hills I'm just not going to die on, and that's why I do Whispering Angel and Santa Margarita Pinot Grigio by the glass at my place. But especially with kind of Chardonnay, Cabernet, some kind of Spanish varietals, By the Glass is a great place to be a little part of discovery. All right, so here, see this? Stag's Leap, Groth, Cake Bread. Guess what's on the other side of the list? Stag's Leap, Groth, and Cake Bread. Dude, the only thing that would be any worse on this thing is if it were Rombauer instead of Luminous by Beringer. Ridiculous. They go to Sauvignon Blanc. They have 2 New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs and 1 Decoy. All right, if you don't know what Decoy is like when the Chinese bought Duckhorn, they made, Decoy used to be one wine and then they made it a brand. But you could put in parentheses there, by Duckhorn, comma, California, you know, it says California, but you could put like, hey, how about a vintage? You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm going to take this one, I don't care which New Zealand one, I don't care. But I'm going to put a Sancerre on for them. Okay, this is really a mess. So, remember I told you about the food. I just don't care for that particular rosé, you know. I'd rather have the little baby Minuti, and this is the same guy that does it, right? So Minuti has a second wine that you can pour for $7 or $12. Here's the thing here. You got German Riesling, which is fine, but with this food, you really need Alsatian Riesling because these guys, so I'm going to throw an Alsatian Riesling on there too. And then the other thing too, you don't ever put a white blend on by just the bottle unless it is Conundrum. I hate to say that, but you know, that's the way it is. Because people just don't have any imagination. The only, this is the best one ever, dude. Okay, here's the thing. Remember, there is about a $100 per person check average in this place. $100 per person. You're going to tell me they're going to drink tropical mango Moscato? Are you kidding me? Instead of DOCG Moscato? Let's try DOCG Moscato. Let's try that. Because we got DOCG Prosecco. There's a word missing. Does anybody know what it is? It starts with a V. Way too long to put it in there. I'm going to change this anyway to La Luca. La Luca's a better product. Okay, so here's 2 little Veuve de Vernay. You see that? That could be Louis Pedreur. It could be anything. I don't really know. You know, it's fine to have a rosé and a brut by the glass, but I think if I were going to do it, I'd do Louis Pedreur in 187s. This comes in little 187 bottles. By the way, so does Moët & Chandon, you know that. Then for champagne by the bottle, in this neighborhood, I'm telling you, you need Clicquot or Moët here at 125, 130. The only French rosé, the only French champagne, actual champagne they have, is Amriot, which is a delightful product, but I don't know, it doesn't say NV, nothing. But in there, in that, you gotta bang in the either Moët or Clicquot. Just if you're gonna do that with the brand names, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Then on the bottom of the white wine page, they put, oh my God, you guys are gonna be seasick with my finger. They put their port and dessert there. What's the rush? What's the rush? But anyway, look it. They're all Dows. 1 Ruby, 2 Tonys. The Ruby is late bottle vintage. It's $100 per person check average. Get a vintage port. There's tons of 85 laying around. It's a deal of the century. You can still get 2,000, all kinds of stuff. Okay, now. Okay, so I already kind of went through all that. I don't have a whole lot of stuff on the second page, but I just think it's because I'm so exhausted from the first page. This is 4 vines. That is not, let me do this with a pen instead of my finger. This might be more palatable for you. Put the producer. Heritage. I have no idea what Heritage is or what Bonanza is. Holy crap. Can you believe this? Juggernaut. Hillside. What hillside? The same hillside as Schaefer and Flora Springs? Or some hillside over by Fairfield County across the street from Camus? In this restaurant, this should be just an isosceles at 135 bucks. These wines are way, way, way too cheap for the restaurant. They're way too cheap. Michael Mondavi does not do a good job making wine. I love that guy. He's the nicest man ever. His wines are just, you can't decide if they're modern style or they're not, but they are certainly overpriced, if nothing else. Speaking of overpriced, gigantic. That's a pretty good price for Palermo. Which Stag's Leap? Stag's Leap Winery or Stag's Leap Wine Cellars? I'll tell you how you know. Winery is cheap. That's Winery. That's the white label with the single, with the deer jumping. Another Groth. Wow. So 2 Stag's Leap and 2 Groth. There's about like 35 wines on this list. And there's 100,000 wines to pick from. What the hell do you have to repeat anything for? Are you kidding me here? And then we get down to Reserve. Reserve what? They all happen to be Reserve kind of Cabernet, but how would I know that? They're reserves because they're priced over 100 bucks? Is that the deal? Then how come Groth isn't down here? Okay. I will show you this list when I'm done with it. Plump Jack, by the way, is one word. Just saying. 1.5 ml, not liter. You could put 1.5 L, or Magnum. But you don't need both. Unless you're getting 2 mags of Groth for the 3rd time for $215. Okay. Oh my God. Dude, I'm exhausted. Aren't you? Silver Oak Napa. $310. That, honest to God, is not a bad price for a mag of Silver Oak. Look at what Silver Oak is over here on my list. Just for a regular $245 for 14 and $265 for 13. That's for regular Silver Oak. I think I might buy him out of these things and then bring them over to my place and sell them for 500 bucks. Okay, if you don't know this wine pays you, now we're getting to, there are 2 categories here that I can live with. Right here, Merlot, pays you single vineyard, organically farmed, Rutherford Merlot, made by a family, made by a super rich family. But also, their national sales manager is one of my best wine buddies in the whole world, Mike Smith, and Duckhorn. Okay, yeah, that's all we're going to say. Not bad. If you're only going to have 2 Merlots, I would rather one be from Saint Emilion or Pomerol or something like that. But if you only have 2 and they're both Napa, I mean, there's so much amazing wine. You see what I'm talking about? These guys, this is a sales reps. I'm going to go back through it and I'll tell you something. Pinot Noir is the only place, like in a very technical sense, that they did it correctly. California, Central Coast, Oregon, San Lucia, which is Central Coast, but not, you see the difference in the quality. Oh, actually, you know what? There is no difference in the quality. Hess Select is actually better than this Belgalas crap. It says San Lucia Highlands, but it's made in Fairfield, California. Come at me, Camus. Come at me. And then this McPhail. Okay, that's amazing Pinot Noir. But they don't have a sommelier on the floor to sell it. So that really should be something like Flowers or something like that. Some kind of a little more popular name, but not something you can get in Publix or something. Look at these prices, dude. This is way, 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 way too cheap. The wines could be so much higher quality. The issue now is we got to get them to work through all this stuff. Did you know Chateau Graysac and Chateau Trintignant, those are the 2 sort of big ones. It warrants saying Cru Bourgeois. Cru Bourgeois, they have to actually qualify. Unlike the first to fifth gross, they have to qualify every single year to get that certification. Dude. All right, so this extra bourbon barrel aged, I got an issue with it. God bless you if you can drink it. Okay. So now we have one Bordeaux and one Italian, and everything else is. Oh, and you got this Purple Angel from Chile, which is Carmenere. This sells in retail, it does not sell in restaurants. Here is the thing now. When you have a wine list like this, and the guy has a beautiful restaurant and it's rolling, and he goes, how come I'm not selling any wine? How come people are all bringing their own wine in and paying $20 corkage fee? It's pretty easy for me to just look at that list and go, brother, I got you. Don't worry. But now guess what? This stuff's been in stock for so long, you got to work through it. You can't just like slam on the brakes. This is a privately owned restaurant, man. So you can't just slam on the brakes and chuck this stuff all out the back door or give it to the help or cook with it. You got to work through it. It's going to take a year. We're just now getting into season. I don't know what Jacksonville season actually is. It's kind of now. But, man, I'll tell you, I'm way over time. I will extend this when I get your comments. I will do another session on this rant once I get your comments. I'm interested to know. Thank you very, very much for following around with me. Along with me. That is for Miss Jerry Kearns. I'm honoring Dexter Tutane today. First hat I ever got on Nantucket from the Wood Box Inn, which is now Todd English's restaurant, called 21 Fair, I think. That guy taught me more about Burgundy. This guy who gave me this hat, Dexter, he was so cool, dude. He would, every single restaurant he went into, even mine in Orlando, he came into mine. I met him across the street at a different restaurant, Stefano's, that's Mary and Steph. He goes into the kitchen. He's passed away by now. He's been passed away about 10 years. He would go into the kitchen and give all the guys in the kitchen like $5 just to tip. What an awesome guy he was. But I learned more about Burgundy from him than I could ever have learned it from anybody else. I loved going and sitting talking to him. He was an amazing, engaging man. Miss you, Dex. All right, you guys, that's the show.